Yes, yes, yes. Hello, Mixed Combat Radio family. If you're like us, you're extremely tired because you stayed up all night to watch Japanese boxing, and you got a show. That's for sure. And me and Gary are absolutely wrong. Naoya Inoue might be the pound for pound king right now in boxing, and we're definitely going to dive into that. Obviously, I'm Matthew Hunter. Links down below in the description. All that fun stuff. It's gonna be an interesting one. I mean, I know Melody's just ready to go. I think she's just been saving ammunition against me and Gary for months now, and this is the time she's going to strike. So I'm kind of a little bit worried here. But without further ado, let me get to my lovely co-hosts, the one and only Melody Joy from the Beauty of Boxing. Melody, Naoya Inoue beat Stephen Fulton. You were right, and the only person on the panel that was right.
I predicted. Yes, he did, because of course he did another fourth division that we conquered. I knew that was going to happen, of course, but nobody has the belief that me and the rest of freaking Japan have, apparently. So it was amazing. It was amazing. I'm glad to be here. I'm tired as hell, but I'm glad to be here with y'all. Gary, how are you?
Gary in Dallas from Texas boxing scene. Gary, like me, picked Stephen
We
Fulton.
got the Kobe sixes, the Grinches. Can y'all see that? The greatest Christmas shoe of all time.
Those are nice.
Signature on the back. Excellent sneaker. It's got the bounciness in the front, the extra air zoom pocket in the front. And unlike other Nikes, it's not real tight, like real narrow on your foot. So my fat foot can wear this comfortably. This is a 10 out of 10. And I've wanted these sneakers for years. And I wasn't going to spend $600-700 on it, but I got it at a reasonable price on StockX. I'm very excited about these.
Inoue still beat the shit out of Fulton.
And
I just want you one more time, Gary. Just
Mixed
real
Combat
quick.
Radio brought to you by Nike. Back to you, Gary.
Let's do it.
I've wanted those sneakers for years. I was never going to pay like $675 for them. Like I got them at like half that, and I was like,
Those are
now's the
so
time.
cute. They're green, bro. Green's my favorite color. I will fucking wear those. Hell yeah, those are green.
They're called the Grinches because Kobe was the Grinch that stole Christmas.
Oh, and I love the Grinch. I just love the Grinch. Kobe or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Are you a Kobe fan?
Gary.
Kobe, yes, of course.
Gary,
I'm
I
from
know you want to
LA.
go around the fight.
Fight. What? Oh, the one we
But we
stayed
have
up
to
all
talk about
night
it.
for.
Yeah. Okay. So I thought, in a way, was this going to be too small? I don't like guys going up all these weight classes. I'm just not a fan of it, and that's kind of. I thought Fulton was good enough. I hate this narrative that Fulton's an average fighter. No, he's not. Average fighters don't beat unified champs like Brandon Figueroa and Danny Roman. He's not an average fighter. He's an excellent fighter. Apparently, Inoue is every bit as good as Melody says he is, okay? He's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. It doesn't matter what happens on Saturday. Inoue's got that spot to himself. He's number one. And that's really all there is to it. I hate to sound cliche, but he's a monster. Like that's a fitting nickname for him. He was faster than Fulton, was he not? He out-jabbed Fulton, and then he just beat the snot out of him. It's like that was a perfect 10 out of 10 performance.
Yeah, I mean, Melody, I don't know if you wanted to wax poetically right now about
How Fulton
this morning.
choked.
Yeah, I know you have a lot of thoughts about the fight. So
Well,
do you want the floor?
No,
As the-
I don't. You know,
as you deserve.
Like you say, I don't have a lot of thoughts. I knew this was gonna happen. I knew he was gonna steal July and Christmas in July, like Gary's showing off that shoe. He was gonna steal it. The Thunder. The weekend, it doesn't even matter to me. Spence or Crawford could win. I'll be happy as shit. I don't even care right now. Inoue beat the fuck out of Fulton. Elegantly. With style and ease. No frustration. No 121 pounds. Beautiful, beautiful. Can he move up to 126? Oh my God, yes. Are we going to kill everybody in these next divisions? Yes.
This is the funeral right here. It's just no casket yet. This fight right here, I will get a body on my record.
We are the monster. Yes.
If-
Yes.
We are the champions, my friend.
even though you're very hyperbolic right now, I mostly agree with what you're saying. I mean, look, here's what happened this morning in Japan. Naoya Inoue dominated every second of this fight, and from the very first round, he clearly had shooken up Stephen Fulton, right? Like
Yeah.
Fulton was hesitant to engage from a very early point in this fight, the first round. And I would say there was almost no significant shot that Fulton landed throughout the fight, throughout the 8 rounds. I can't remember one shot from Fulton that made me go, "Ooh, nice," But Inoue was rather
Body shot,
dominant, and
uppercuts.
and not only dominant. And I think we've talked about this either on the show or off air about no shade on another fight I'm about to shade on, but like Mikey Garcia wishes he's Inoue. Like Inoue is the perfect boxer puncher. Like if you have a guy in the gym or a kid in the gym that it's very basic, but they do all the basics right, watch Inoue tape because he's the best at it. He's the best at a simple jab. He's the best at simple head movement, simple lateral movement. Everything he does is simple, but it's perfection, and even like the word you said, elegant still in the simplicity. And even there was times, I mean, we haven't seen Inoue really showboat in a fight from my memory. This was the time he showboated, even, like, he slipped a shot, did the whole like, where's the shot? This was Inoue in his element. This was the
Yes.
best performance of his career against possibly his best opponent to date. I mean, like Gary said, like you're saying, I'm kind of of the mind that no matter what happens on Saturday with Spence and Crawford, Inoue's pound for pound king right now. This was a fight that was supposed to be tough and a fight that he could have been beaten, and it didn't happen. And the exact opposite happened. He was dominant in every second, demolished Stephen Fulton, who, like Gary said, is a guy that isn't a pushover. He's not an average fighter. I at least had the mindset that he was very close to being in that conversation with the Shakurs, the Devin Haney's, the Boots, as that next generation of American fighters that are really excelling at the game. Because Fulton was excelling at the game up until this morning.
And now we have to put it into place, guys. Butler lasted longer than
God.
Fulton. So what does that say about Mr. Canadian? Is he Canadian?
No, he's
French?
no,
I don't know. What is he?
He's
The fuck
British.
he
He's
is.
British. He's
British, white, whatever. What do we have to say about now Butler?
Don't give in to Rob. Rob's somewhere listening to this tomorrow. Just
I'm
like,
just
yes,
saying.
yes.
I'm just saying.
Paul Butler's the best.
What are we gonna say? Where does Fulton go from here?
I mean, I think
because this performance was terrible.
I think
that
it was
terrible. There was like he had no pressure. He was so scared to move. I think once he felt power in the first round, it was like, no, wait a minute, Joe. This is not what I signed up for.
Well, I think it's two things. One, I saw somebody compare this fight to Mayweather Diego Corrales, and I thought that was a really good comparison. You have this transcending, fighter that is really rising momentum that maybe is the next great, the next GOAT in Inoue, like Mayweather, fighting a guy that's really, really good, champion, like is somebody that's respectable, and they just wash him. Clearly show the levels between them. I think that's a little bit of what this is. I don't think Fulton's bad.
Yeah.
I think that if Inoue had fought Brandon Figueroa or
oh my God,
or what's his name? The guy that retired. Daniel Roman, Andrew Leo, like
Leo Santa Cruz.
Like Inoue would knock them out and dominate them, I think.
What could you do different than Fulton couldn't do?
Probably just, I don't know, man. Just
maybe because Donaire's also another great in his own way. That's
He's
why
gotta be, bro.
that's why
He's gotta
Inoue
be.
had such a tough fight with Donaire.
We definitely have to give props to Donaire because damn, this man hurt in a way.
Yeah, I mean, and look, I mean, that's still Inoue's toughest fight in his career is that first Donaire fight.
Yeah.
So that's the benchmark. When we talk about other fights coming up, we're going to say, are they going to do better than Donaire? But Gary, I know we've been talking for a while. I mean, your thoughts, Inoue, what's next? Fulton, what's next? All that fun stuff.
I think next for Fulton is 126, and I think he's going to be formidable at 126. I think they can get him a title at 126. I don't think that's going to be difficult. In a way, it's a little more. There's no one really left for him to fight at 118. unless there's someone in the wings I'm not thinking of, like a prospect up and coming. But other Manny Rodriguez, Paul Butler, Maloney, he's already beat those guys. So I don't know what's left from it at 18. 22 is not really, outside of Fulton, it's not really a great division, especially on the top ranked side. All there is the other Maloney brother. I guess he can fight him, and they'll probably make that. But I mean,
Definitely make that now. Damn it, Gary.
Hell yeah,
Damn it. They're 100% making that
dude.
next.
I was definitely gearing towards Neri or obviously Tapalis. Did you see? Obviously, Tapalis got in the ring afterwards.
Tapalis, they could do that, but I mean, the new way's coming. He gets hit so much, like he's gonna wash the files. Like that's gonna be bad. Like I was saying, I would love to see this fight, right? I would love to see Inoue fight Figueroa.
No,
and I would have picked Figueroa just based on size. Now I don't think so. Now I think because he gets hit so much, Inoue's just gonna knock him out too. It's gonna be like Pacquiao with Margarito. Like it doesn't matter how big he is, he's gonna stop him too. So that's not going to get made because PBC is not going to, unless the payday is astronomical, PBC is not going to serve him up to Inoue. So you're looking at there's 126 pounders, right? Joette Gonzalez, Luis Alberto Lopez winner, which is going to be Lopez.
Mauricio Laura, Lee Wood, those types of guys.
There's guys like that he can fight. There's good fights from at 26, but like
he beats them all.
How high is he going to go? I mean, he's 5'5". I thought the big difference was going to be the weight advantage that Volt was going to have in the ring. He didn't look that much bigger in the ring. And his reach advantage. I thought he could keep him all the way out and then bully him around all the way in. As long as he didn't get caught in the pocket, as long as he stayed all the way out or all the way in, I thought Fulton could win. And obviously that, first of all, he fought the entire fight in the mid-range for the most part, which was I was shocked that Inoue was faster than Fulton was. I was like, this is round one, and I was like, okay, Fulton doesn't like Inoue's power. That was obvious from jump. I was like, okay, he better make some adjustments quick. And when he didn't in round two, I'm like, this is over. Like Fulton's got no shot at winning. And by round six, you can check my Twitter. Round 6, I said this goes 2 or 3 more rounds, and he got stopped in the 8th. Like the fight was so easy to unfold. It was just like Fulton's getting stopped soon, and there was nothing he could do. He tried to get in the 4th and the 5th. He landed a couple right hands as like because the only shots he really landed. But it was over, right? Like it was over as soon as he stepped on the gas. He's going to get nailed. And he couldn't box him from the outside because Inoue was winning the battle of the jabs. Like, there's nothing Fulton can do here. Like, that's it.
I think now's the time. And I talked to you about this. Like, obviously, you're playing it like some tune-up fight like Tapalis next for Inoue, of course. But now's the time to make the Lomachenko super fight. Like, make it at a catchweight, make it at 130. I don't think.
So you want Lomachenko to get beat up next, too?
But what you're seeing right there, he's not a matrix. He's flesh. He's blood. He's ass.
I do think Inoue beats Lomachenko at this point in time. But I think that's like in terms of legacy defining fight, 115 is so far in the rear view. None of those guys matter, or they're just not in the realm right now just due to size.
What about Neri? We forgot about Neri.
I mean, Neri's a fun fighter. I would like that fight more than the Tapalis fight.
Oh, I said
more
Tapalis
than
right.
more than the Maloney fight, for example. Like I would like
Yeah.
Luis Neri. I think he's a far more dangerous fighter than those guys. But it's still, I mean, Inoue is the clear favorite against everyone from 118 to 126 right now, in my opinion. And the only names that really would make me think he could lose is like a big 135 Lomachenko that is a great fighter, is probably gonna be in the Hall of Fame, has his own legacy, sort of like Donaire, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now he's so much bigger than Donaire. Is that going to be a thing? That's the fight that interests me. That's the sad part, because all these fights are going to be fun fights because it's Inoue. Inoue always has fun, entertaining fights because of his style, because of his knockouts. Mauricio Laura, Lee Wood, whoever he's going to fight next, they're going to be fun fights. But I don't think anyone out there, except for like those people's family members, are going to be picking them to win.
Right.
Like
just to hype them. Just purely to hype them.
it is so clear now that Inoue is in this rarefied air. Like he's in this.
He's kind of in a level of his own now, right? Like I
Yeah.
don't. He's kind of untouchable, which I obviously have been saying for years because I think he is the most high. But I mean, obviously, you guys.
The most high, like Lord Jesus.
Well, I don't believe in the Lord Jesus. I believe in Inoue. So
I believe in him.
And we obviously it working out. You know what I mean?
I
So I don't know. I think, like I said, he's in a level of his own, and I think we all just figured that out. Everybody got on the same level as me, you know.
yeah, I think all the other guys we're talking about in pound for pound right now, they're beatable to some degree. You know, whether it's Canelo, obviously, because he just recently lost, Spence Crawford, Tank, Jamel Charlo. I mean, who else are we gonna talk about in the pound for pound? I mean, all these guys are beatable or have taken L's before. Inoue's
Still
perfect
hasn't.
except for one tough fight with the legend. So
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe he is the GOAT of this generation. It seems like he's only the only thing that's stopping from that is those opponents.
I want you to tell him that he's right there on the wall. Go ahead.
Inoue, the only thing that's stopping
Tell
from
him.
that is like
Tell him
better opponents.
That's right. Oh, he's also on my arm. Look, sometimes I talk to him.
Like imagine him beating.
Yes, I know.
Imagine beating MJ. Like that just does nothing
Easy.
for me.
Breezy.
But does nothing for his legacy. It just another feather in
And
his cap.
I remember I had said this like 2 years ago. He could be. I said he'll beat Fulton. He'll beat MJ. He'll beat Roman because he wasn't retired yet. There, those three people, and everybody was like, "You are out of your damn mind."
Can you imagine what you do?
People were telling me crazy. You were talking crazy.
Not about Roman and what
You said Fulton and
MJ. No, I never picked MJ against.
No, we wouldn't pick MJ.
No. Fulton, yes, I've always been a fan of Fulton.
And I told Roman, don't do that. Don't go. Don't fight in a way. I tell everybody, don't fight. What was wrong with you? All my little guys, all my like pro debuters and stuff down here in the valley, they're 118. They're always telling me, "Oh, my dream fight is to fight in a way." I'm like, to get destroyed? No, guys.
Yeah, a lot of the young guys say that. No, it's not happening. I will say that in terms of like, could the winner of Saturday upset Inoue for that number one spot? If they have some sort of better performance than Inoue,
Bro, if like Crawford knocks out Spence, which
in like 3 rounds,
nobody
and like
expects.
makes him look like a dummy,
boom,
in there,
that'd be
maybe,
crazy.
you know,
I guess, but still,
I just don't see it. I just really don't see it. I think that fight's gonna be tough. I think that either one of those guys could come out a little bit scarred up and beat up from that fight.
It's gonna be fun.
I thought that was gonna happen in this fight though, and that I was wrong there, clearly. Any other thoughts before we move on to the co-main event of this card? Gary?
No, but shout out to Donaire who fights on the Spence card. Because like in retrospect, that's a great performance. What he's doing to everyone else, it's like I don't think Donaire won. Like, I didn't even think it was all that close, but he stood up and gave him hell. Like kudos to Donaire in the first fight. Like in retrospect, that's a hell of a performance from Donaire to even make it that close.
And old man Donaire too. That's not a prime Donaire. That was impressive. Especially in hindsight. It's probably one of those fights that, like, as time goes on, it's even better.
Yeah,
you know, it's gonna age like fine wine.
Age good, yeah.
In the co-main event, speaking of aging like wine, Robeisy Ramirez over here. I mean, just dominating his opponent, Satoshi Shimizu, knock him out in the 5th round. I mean, just put hands on him, just dog walked him, and it was funny because Shimizu was like twice his height.
It was so tall.
It was a very weird size discrepancy here, but Ramirez was just landing uppercuts at will, splitting the guard, beating him up. Really good performance. And people have talked about him also versus Inoue. I don't think he wins that. It's better than like Tapalis and Maloney. I'll say that at this point in time. Guys, any thoughts? Melody? Robeisy Ramirez?
Oh, he looked so good.
Mm-hmm.
He did. I felt bad for him because the whole like Cuba flag stuff, whatever. But hey, he still represented. He still looked really good. Gave everybody a really good performance, like you had suggested. So it was good. I loved his gloves.
Very fun.
Were
fight.
they Everlast?
I'll have to
Gloves?
double check. I don't. Maybe.
Oh, it's just across my chest. That's why I'm saying that. Just, you know.
Gary, thoughts on Robeisy Ramirez, your boy?
Good performance, really good. Like he looked good. That opponent should have never been in the ring with him. That to me is. I'm not taking away from Robeisy Ramirez. He did everything you'd want him to do, but that guy should have never been in a world title fight with Robeisy Ramirez. That's a bad look for boxing.
Dude, that guy was moving like a turtle in there. Poor thing.
Oh, maybe he's beat someone good. Let's double check.
Look at the. Oh my God, the picture on Boxrec. Poor guy.
No, he hasn't beat anyone.
Look
good.
at it. Look, how old is he?
How old he looks?
He looks old.
Oh shit, he's 37.
37 years
Oh,
old.
damn.
No
I thought he was a young guy.
Yeesh. Dude, he looks young over 37, bro. I thought it was 12, man.
That picture on Boxrec does not do him justice.
No,
in the ring, he looked better.
He looked so little. He looked young, thin.
Anyways, I do want to, if it's okay with you guys, to briefly touch on the whole Cuba thing.
Of course.
With Robeisy Ramirez. Because I mean, we heard it all through the telecast.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, him defecting and Cuba's a dictatorship, all this stuff. I don't have much thoughts about the whole flag and national anthem thing, largely because I'm only hearing it from his team. Like he's the one that self-reported it, and everyone's going with it. And I've looked for sources to back this up, but everyone just cites Robeisy Ramirez.
My thing is, I'm sorry, but if I defected from the US, they would definitely be like, bitch, don't represent us. Honestly, I don't think the US is like, yes, that's the girl we want to represent our country. Like, no, bitch, no.
If they did that, I think I
could understand, honestly. I'm just saying, I can understand from that point of view because I'm a hater. You know what I mean?
If they did that, I think they don't have to do that. And, if you guys want me to get into that, I can. But overall, the narrative around Cuba and boxing, I think, is just absolutely wrong. One, Cuba has legalized professional boxing for about over a year or two now, meaning that fighters can go and be professional boxers. The issue is that the U.S. does not allow Cuban citizens to come to the U.S. and do work here and then go back to Cuba. That just doesn't exist. So they are effectively embargoed from the U.S. market for boxing, which is the primary market for the sport.
Unless they defect, right?
So I got a question though. Let me. I'll let you get it. They can fight in Cuba professionally now. I mean, in Mexico now. I think they can go to Mexico
and they
build their record the same way people from California and Texas do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They just can't go to the U.S. and U.S. fighters can't go there, right? So
it's just us cock blocking.
Yes. For example, like you said, U.S. boxers, if they wanted to, Cuba would allow them to come to Cuba to fight professionally, but the U.S. does not allow.
You can't come back.
The U.S. citizen to go there and do commerce like that. You have to get very special permits, and it's very difficult. But again, that idea of Cuba is stopping these poor fighters from pursuing their dreams, that's not true. It's not true anymore. It's not the case. Two, the reason why Cuban boxers are so predominant in the sport is because of the state-sponsored support of boxing within Cuba, the nationalized programs, the idea that kids 5 to 15, 18 years old can train in boxing and get paid by the state to do that. I mean, that's why they represent the country at the national level, international level. That's why they have such a strong boxing community there. It's fully supported by the state, the government, and they support the poor fighters there. I mean, think about how many fighters we have here in the U.S. that are A-side regional guys that are fighting for $1,000 checks, but then they have to pay $950 in medicals, plus training costs, plus food, plus supplements, plus transportation. All of that's outfits, all that stuff. Most fighters at the regional level here in the U.S. are actually paying to fight, let alone the amateur scene. So, I think that we really need to recalibrate how we look at Cuba and boxing as a whole. And then also like the narrative of it being a dictatorship is overblown. But
right now we are on election day. So in this center behind us, they are voting for the names they proposed weeks before.
Mi nombre es Daisy, una votante de la comunidad, que aquí en Cuba sí hay democracia, que aquí no tenemos nuestro derecho, nadie nos impone, nosotros mismos escogemos quién nos va a representar en el barrio.
In Cuba, we take elections quite seriously. It's the most transparent moment of our democracy.
I was raised being told stories that Cuba was a very undemocratic place. I've seen dozens of community members, dozens of people that live in this neighborhood come in and out very quick. They read the candidate biographies. They go in and vote. There's no campaigning, sloganeering, which you see from the candidates in the US having to spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on voting to influence the people. But here there's no profit motive involved. It's just people voting for people they know in their community members.
Fight for seeing Cuba with your own eyes. We don't make any restrictions for you. It's your own government who isn't allowing you to see the truth, because actually war on Cuba is also a business. Try to find Cuban sources being written and produced in Cuba, not just thinking that you know Cuba because you talk to a Cuban descendant or Cuban American that hasn't been in the country like for 30 years.
I'll go on forever on that stuff, so I'll stop there.
I think we should just be able to have, a free trade. Cuban fighters can fight here and we can fight in Cuba. Just like in Mexico or any other country, right? Like there's never an issue if you want to go to Mexico and fight, like, okay, or Colombia. And that's the most corrupt sector. That's the most corrupt commission too. I've heard good ones about Mexico. You want to hear a funny story about Hasim Rahman Jr.?
Sure.
Tell me.
He was training with James Payton, who trains fighters in the Valley. He trained Eric Molina and a bunch of other guys down in the Rio Grande Valley. They took him down to Mexico to get a tune-up fight before he had a big fight. He lost. The Mexican commission said, "Do you want your guy to win?" And they're like, "Yeah, $400 US." Right? So, okay, fine, we'll do it. $400. But I had to go get $400. So they sat with the scorecard for 15 minutes until he produced the $400. Right? Everyone in the ring waiting for 15 minutes until they gave him the $400, and then they gave him a majority decision.
Of course.
True story.
It sounds real.
But that's totally acceptable.
It's pretty much what we're doing, except we're doing it as a slot fee, or we're doing it as save your spot for this card that has this big fighter on it. So give us at least $700 to $800 to hold your spot. That's done here.
Yes, but Cuba's a dictatorship. Digressing. I posted a big tweet thread about it, so if you want to get my thoughts about that, link Matt Hunter MCR to get more thoughts on Cuba, I guess. Ruiz Ramirez though looked fantastic. Can't wait to see him next. There was nothing else on this card that I really want to talk about. I want to briefly move to this weekend, if that's okay, unless you all want to do another show Thursday or something like that and come back and do just a preview show for the weekend.
Well, we got that's up to y'all, because we didn't do a show last week. So I did want to talk about your boy Andy Cruz and Keyshawn Davis and who's better.
Yes, we can do that.
Compare those performances.
Yes.
We'll do a Crawford Spence.
We haven't talked about Andy Cruz. Okay.
Yeah.
Andy Cruz.
I did.
That's right. We did. Yeah, we put out a video on your channel.
Video.
Check it out, thebeautyboxing.com, all that fun stuff. Links down below in the description. You know where to go. Andy Cruz demolishes Keyshawn Davis. By demolish, I mean that he outboxes him for 10 rounds in a rather, ho-hum affair. But he wins this decision. I think Andy Cruz is just a really good boxer. Like he's a Rigondeaux without that super strong left hand.
Right.
But he still has enough pop, I think, to make guys respect him. Because he had Burgos, clearly, distress, not really willing to engage. And that's what allowed, I think, Andy Cruz to sort of just cruise to decision, I think he's really, really good. I think we're in this age now where, like we talked about 4 or 5 years ago, 8 years ago with the UK, right? There's a huge wave of UK amateur fighters that all did really well. They're going to the pros. Let's see what happens. Cuba had the same thing a couple of years ago, where they had like 6, 7, 8 guys all win gold medals. So now we're seeing this huge influx of Cuban fighters coming in. And, like we can talk about in Mexico, there's a few of them that are only fighting in Mexico because they haven't defected yet. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens, one with how the U.S. and Cuba relations, materialize, but the ones that have defected, where they're going to go now. Roberto Ramirez, he's rebounded in a major way. He's of that generation as well. And yeah, I think Keyshawn Davis is good. I just have never been that impressed by him. I don't see anything special in him. I see Andy Cruz at least as a very talented technical boxer. And so is Keyshawn Davis, but clearly not in the same way because we've seen them fight 5 times.
Let's stop talking about them so we could save it for Thursday.
No, that's just Andy Cruz.
And Keyshawn. We're going to talk about them on Thursday.
No, I know. We're going to talk about Spence Thursday.
I know. Also, I said, never mind.
Gary. Sorry, are we talking about Keyshawn Davis or not?
Yes.
Gary, Keyshawn Davis, Andy Cruz.
If they fought next, I do want to see. Like Cruz fought once, and he fought Burgos, so he fought a formidable opponent. He's probably better than Keyshawn's last opponent, Patera, but it's probably pretty close, right? So it's probably pretty competition. I was not hyper impressed with Keyshawn Davis. I really wasn't. Like, I thought for a guy who did that much talking, he should have backed that up. I thought he should have stopped him when he dropped him in the 8th round, I guess it was. I was not hyper impressed with Keyshawn Davis, but I'll be honest, I wasn't that impressed. Look, Andy Cruz is obviously a very good boxer. Like, that much we know, right? He's going to outclass and outskill most fighters. Is he the next great thing? Is he like a next great world champion? I can't say I saw that at all. Now, it's one fight against a decent opponent, a veteran, and he won every round. So I'm not going to knock the performance. If he fought Keyshawn Davis tomorrow, I would take Andy Cruz. But I'm not really sold on either of them. I don't know if either of them beat Floyd Schofield, honestly. I wasn't like, he's good. I didn't see anything next level. I didn't see him press. I just saw him put on a boxing clinic. And a boxing clinic is going to work against 95% of fighters. But when you get to those top guys, especially in this division, this is the wrong division to be in at this moment. 135 and 140 are killer. I don't know if that's enough. Like if he fought William Zepeda, I don't see how he could keep Zepeda off of him. Either one of them, Keyshawn or Andy Cruz. Like I did, but I want to see more of Cruz. I want to see Cruz against another opponent. I want to see him against someone stylistically different, and see how he does. But right now, I would pick Cruz to beat Keyshawn if they fought next. But I'm not ready to say either one of them are the next great lightweight prospect.
Matt, check that right there. What time is it? I want to see what Gary just said that again.
At 31.
Exactly.
In 30 seconds.
And then I'm going to get the last video where we were talking
Melody, I don't think we also talked, I think you talked about it in your video, but not on the show. Because I know you'd rather maybe talk about this stuff. The debauchery of boxing. Kingpin boxing.
Oh my God. So ridiculous.
Right, because I don't think we've done a show since that infamous Kingpin boxing card on DAZN. The flashing card.
I mean, I did make a bet with somebody on Twitter that if Crawford wins, I would flash them, but like Crawford's not gonna win, so not gonna have to do that. I felt like it was a safe bet, but for me, but homegirl flashed on DAZN, and apparently they threw her under the bus. And
they fired her ass.
She took a break from boxing. Bitch, she said afterwards she was not gonna take a break.
Dude, that sucks,
That's
man.
so sad. What's her name? I can't even fucking remember her name.
Look, she flashed her tits, guys.
They're just boobs.
I feel like every boxing card has like the TVMA rating on it anyways. We've seen people die in the ring. Like
number one.
I don't know. Did anyone see the Thompson Promotions card, the last ever show?
I watched it. I heard about it.
Yeah, I watched the card. Before George Acosta. George Acosta looked good. it didn't seem that bad at the end of the fight, but then they took him in, and there was like a half-hour break in between the fight, and no one really knew what was going on. Apparently, it's bad. I haven't gotten an update on Eddie Valencia since like 2 days ago when they said he was in critical condition. I don't know if that's changed.
Well, there was one fighter did die on the card.
Yeah.
He hasn't died, has he?
No, not Eddie Valencia. No, somebody else did.
There was another fighter on that card that passed away.
From LA.
On Friday's card?
Yes.
I think so, yeah. Eddie Valencia still hasn't passed.
We'll double check it. When you guys are watching this, on YouTube for free, I'll probably post a link right here or something like that, or a screenshot of something. But we did see news from, I think it was South Central Boxing Club, that they had a fighter on that card and they passed away. And then that was obviously separate from Eddie Valencia,
because he fought Yuka. Yeah.
Who's like Gary said, the last time I heard any update on him was that he was still in critical condition in ICU. So
sad.
But yet we have people worried about people flashing tits in boxing. It's just the weirdest world we live in. People like, we watch a sport where people die in and commit brain damage to each other for very little money and no like benefits, no pension. And we're all okay with that. We're fucking clapping like seals.
Everybody's happy. Ring girls and G-strings. Everyone's like, woo! It's
seriously, yeah. What the ring girls wear is just as offensive as anything. Honestly, right? Like, especially on this Pro Box series, which I love, by the way. I mean, the girls are basically naked. They look like strippers.
Well, first of all,
they are strippers.
If you go,
they got to look like a strip club. I understand. I get it.
If you go to any of the girls on the card, which I follow, Emily and her sister. What are the Brooks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you go to her page. She is literally naked, butt ass, full ass, bush naked.
She's a porn star
on Twitter, on her Twitter page. So it's not like she has it behind a paywall. Homegirl is out and about in boxing gloves, butt ass naked. And then they expected something not to happen on there. That's kind of silly. And then to throw her under the bus.
Then to fire her. That's messed up. Yeah, that's messed up. Shame on you, Kingpin in the zone. Free the nipple.
Free the nip. Imagine all crazy. Calm the fuck down.
I'll just cut it when you're motioning up. I'm like, sorry guys, we had to come back here. Melody went crazy right there. I don't know what happened. Anyways, what else do we want to talk about then? There's not a lot of news out there.
Sinessa's fighting on Friday.
Sinessa's fighting, and that's a
lie. We'll say that for the Thursday show, right?
Well, I'll talk about it. Hopefully, I'll have more information because me and another writer from Uppercut Magazine, Sophia, we're gonna do a little both give our opinion on Sinessa's fight.
Do a little
she's
collab article.
Yeah, and she's starting a documentary she wants to do on women in boxing. So she's starting to work on that, which is going to be super cool. I'll link her.
I think that might be it. We went to do a quick show here. Just a little bit review.
There was the Maxi used Cambosis card. What did you guys think of that scorecard?
I didn't watch it. I'll be honest.
I did.
We were out of town. And
I was downstairs watching it.
You were downstairs. During vacation watching boxing, the true dedicated fan here. I was up watching an old movie from my childhood.
I thought Maxi won.
Going through nostalgia. Wild America, great movie.
I could have been not a good movie. I obviously went downstairs to watch Cambosis fight.
Gary, have you seen the movie Wild America from 1997?
I think so. I mean, you're asking me from 25 years ago. I think so. That sounds really familiar. I probably saw it at that particular time. I don't remember it at all. The name sounds really familiar. My guess is I've seen it. I just don't remember because it was 25 years ago.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that boy.
Yeah, every girl that was a teenager or in middle school,
yes,
in the early to mid 90s. Jonathan Taylor Thomas was the guy.
Yeah.
Or the Lawrence brothers. Everyone loved the Lawrence brothers too.
They're so ugly now.
Yeah, now they're not. It's rough now. Anyways, digressing here.
Remember I had to meet one?
Yes.
Multiple times.
I think I met him too, didn't I?
Yeah.
Was that Matthew Lawrence?
Yeah, I think Matthew. One of them.
Crazy stuff in boxing. Anyways, I think that's gonna be it. Right?
I mean, especially if we come back Thursday, then we got way more stuff to talk about because we are way closer. This is fight week. this has been a hell of a start to one of a week of boxing history. A week, guys. This is such. It's been a beautiful day. I can't love life more than Inoue. Inshallah.
Like Gary said, it's Christmas in July. It feels like.
Where are them green shoes, Gary?
Final thoughts time. Inoue is pound for pound king. Those Kobe cleats are nice.
Sheesh.
Very, very nice.
Very nice.
I still will give like a 10% of me that thinks like maybe the outcome of Saturday determines pound for pound #1 spot. But damn, Inoue looks like he is.
3 years ago,
He's the GOAT of this generation, it feels like, unless somebody is going to surpass what he's doing at this point in time. It's going to be him and Canelo. Like, we're going to talk about them two neck and neck. Who is the best of this generation?
I have 2 tattoos. What are we up? Him and Canelo.
It is. I mean, they're the GOATs of this generation. They're the Mayweather Pacquiaos. They're just separated by 60 pounds, unfortunately.
Beautiful solid.
I am Matt Hunter. Follow me on all social media platforms right there below. Matt Hunter MCR. Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube later, either on Mixed Combat Radio, The Beauty of Boxing, or Texas Boxing Scene, remember, you can watch it live on patreon.com/Trending Now Network. Links also down below in the description if you want to help support the show financially, all that fun stuff. Be back Thursday. No articles out at this point in time, but hopefully, like Melody said, we're gonna have one out for the Beauty of Boxing with her and Sophia from Uppercut Magazine. And that's it for now. Melody, final thoughts.
Yes. So I mean, wonderful beginning of the week for this historic week in boxing. Crawford Spence going to be amazing. We'll see you guys on Thursday. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Beauty of Boxing, Beauty of Boxdale on TikTok, because I do like to go live on TikTok. And if you want to support me financially, OnlyFans. Just kidding.
Do it.
I'm just kidding. That's just purely for your pleasure because I really don't go on there. So like, I mean, if you want to crack at it,
it's purely
not
to
my.
support financially.
I promise you, it ain't my cup of tea. You know what I mean? So, hands off. Do what you want to do, people. We're out. Gary.
That's Friday fight. I'm looking at the Cisa Strada fight where she's fighting Linella Uduka. That's a really good fight. Like, Estrada's probably gonna win, but like, I understand the rest of that undercard is total trash. It looks like a club fight, but like the main event's a really good fight. I hope people watch it. Like, it's a good fight. But find me all forms of social media, 3D Boxing blog. I'm really excited about the new Grinches, the Kobe 6s. Christmas in July. 3D Boxing blog. Also, Texas Boxing Scene on YouTube. All proceeds from that channel go to Autism Research and Recovery. It's July 25th, 2023. Texas is still not a country, if you can believe that. Let's make Texas a country again. From Texas to the world, thank you, and God bless.
And remember, fuck the police.
Free Palestine.
And free Palestine. Peace.